Upcoming horror games are stepping into darker, more unsettling territory with each new reveal. These titles focus on tension, atmosphere, and moments that stay with you long after you stop playing. Here are upcoming horror games that already look truly terrifying.
Simon doesn't do me.
Silent Hill Townfall centers on Simon Ordell returning to the island town of St. Amelia in 1996, viewed entirely in first person. Gameplay involves moving through fog-covered areas while avoiding threats and using limited weapons in close combat. A handheld CRTV device helps detect hidden dangers and access strange signals linked to puzzles. Progress comes from solving these puzzles and uncovering fragments of Simon's past tied to the town's condition.
I woke up in the water again. But this time it's different. I keep trying to fix what happened. But no matter what I do,
you can't fix it. It doesn't let us change things. You did what you did.
This is an SOS from the forward reconnaissance ship Cassiopeia. Our ship has taken massive structural damage.
Directive 8020 takes place aboard the colony ship Cassiopeia after it crash lands on Tau Ceti F, where the crew must deal with a hostile alien organism that can mimic humans. Gameplay combines third-person movement, stealth, and quick reactions to avoid or confront threats using improvised tools. Decisions play a major role, with branching paths and multiple outcomes shaped by player actions. Progress involves managing trust among crew members while identifying hidden threats and responding to critical survival situations.
Behind me! Open the fucking door!
God, it's alive.
Please! Help us! Get me out of here! Or I'm gonna fucking freeze!
It's fucking burning in here! You can't leave me out here!
Please!
Clive Barker's Hellraiser revival follows Aiden as he uses the Genesis configuration puzzle box to rescue his girlfriend from the labyrinth, shown in a first-person perspective. Gameplay combines close combat with special abilities gained from the box, allowing interaction with enemies and the environment in different ways. Encounters include cultists and other hostile beings, requiring both weapon use and careful timing. Progress depends on managing these abilities while navigating dangerous areas tied to the central narrative.
Apprehend these sights. You called for us, and you can no longer return. You can only journey deeper into hell and witness the infinite terror within. The reckoning will be.
The Mound Omen of Cthulhu places players in a team of up to 4 explorers searching for treasure in a cursed jungle, with missions starting from a galleon where equipment and weapons are selected. Gameplay revolves around cooperative movement, combat, and communication as groups push deeper into dangerous areas. Supernatural forces distort perception, creating hallucinations and confusion that affect decision-making. Progress depends on completing objectives, managing threats, and returning safely while dealing with creatures and shifting reality. Halloween sets players in Haddonfield during the 1978 night, with gameplay built around asymmetrical multiplayer, where one player controls Michael Myers and others take on survivor roles. Michael relies on stealth, shadows, and tracking abilities to hunt targets, while survivors work together to warn residents, gather tools, and plan escapes. Matches involve managing NPC behavior, calling authorities, and using available items to delay or counter threats, alongside a separate single-player story mode tied to the same setting.
To pull back the curtain and unveil more details that demonstrate our commitment to delivering our most robust, dynamic, and terrifying multiplayer offering yet. Michael Myers is a creeping, methodical killer, and on Halloween night, Haddonfield becomes his hunting ground. The boogeyman's primary desire is to eliminate every living resident in this quiet town. But he also begins each match with a list of special targets that supply greater rewards if killed before time expires. These unfortunate residents are positioned across various sites in the map, and Michael players are empowered to use their nightmare suite of abilities to locate, terrorize, and ultimately execute their victims and anyone bold enough to interfere with their bloodthirsty ambitions. Killer Sense allows players to step behind the mask and stalk the residents of Haddonfield. When using this skill and entering the first-person perspective, Michael becomes aggressively aware of his surroundings and the proximity of potential prey. By focusing on targets with murderous intent, Michael builds varying levels of stalk, which aid him in identifying and tracking targets and open increasingly satisfying options for executions. An effective killer always keeps their victims unaware of their presence until those final fatal moments. While historically Michael Myers isn't known for his speed, fundamental abilities like shape jump amplify the shape's mobility with hauntingly unpredictable results. In shape jump, Michael slips into the shadows to move around environments unseen. Not only does this increase Michael's base movement speed, but it also provides access to other powerful traversal options, including Shape Dash, which sends Michael lunging forward with violent momentum. Shape Jump is confidently one of the most powerful tools at Michael's disposal, and supplies unlimited possibilities for iconic jump scare moments.
Stay cool.
However, that potency comes with a few major caveats. Our masked antagonist can only enter and exit Shape Jump while in the cover of darkness or outside a resident's line of sight. The light may provide temporary reprieve for the residents of Haddonfield, but Michael can work to remove sources of illumination by shutting off lights, cutting power, and even catalyzing temporary blackouts.
Oh God!
Despite the unquestionable malevolence of Michael Myers, his horrifying homecoming to Haddonfield won't be welcomed without resistance. As the body count climbs and evidence of the boogeyman's presence becomes undeniable, local authorities, residents, and distinct playable civilians may decide to gather weapons and face off against evil itself. Thankfully, Michael knows his way around sharp objects and will have multiple options for melee combat encounters. And if especially persistent Haddonfieldites do manage to get the upper hand in an exchange, don't worry.
How the hell? It's not possible.
We've said it once, and we'll say it again. You can't kill the boogeyman. While Michael swiftly endeavors to turn Haddonfield into a graveyard, our heroic group of civilian characters desperately attempts to save their neighbors and escape the boogeyman's bloodthirst. As a civilian, it's up to you to find fellow Haddonfield residents, convince them of his malicious intent, and guide them safely to one of several possible randomized escapes located around the map before they meet an untimely end. This distinctive cast of playable civilian characters each comes equipped with unique stats, special traits, and signature personalities. To ensure no two matches of Halloween play out the same, our team has constructed a vast playground of possibilities in Haddonfield, offering civilians a multitude of diverse gameplay systems to aid them in achieving their objectives and surviving the night. As civilians navigate these environments, they'll uncover points of interest, revealing resident NPCs, lootable containers, hiding places, telephones, possible escape routes, and more. Thoroughly and cautiously exploring your surroundings could very well mean the difference between life and death. And when death comes to your little town, it's probably not a bad idea to head to your neighbors and contact the local authorities. Civilians are tasked with tracking down surviving residents and warning them of the looming threat. Successful conversations with residents can permit civilians to request additional calls to police, commands to find secure hiding places, or companionship as they navigate the formerly peaceful streets of Haddonfield.
Should we stick together? Maybe we're better as a team.
Whether it's a local family friend or the authorities, there's safety in numbers. Once the innocent residents of Haddonfield have been located and persuaded, it's time for the civilians to plan their harrowing escape. Lootable containers scattered throughout the map contain weapons, distractions, and key items that can be used to unlock and access a variety of possible escape routes. The location of these items and escapes changes from match to match, so civilians greatly benefit from adjusting their strategies based on the objects uncovered. It's also worth noting that initiating these escape sequences generates a tremendous amount of noise, which will alert Michael to your exact location. So what happens in the likely event that a civilian becomes another display of Michael's wretched, inhumane nature? Well, their Haddonfield story isn't over just yet. Even in death, they can support their friends and even return as a sheriff's deputy or the unrelenting Dr. Loomis. Once they've re-emerged upon the streets of Haddonfield, they can cooperate with the remaining civilians and responding officers to try and put a stop to Michael's murderous rampage.
Freeze where you are, Michael. You're coming with me.
While he can't be killed, with enough community resistance, the proper equipment, and sheer manpower, he can be detained and shipped back to Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Halloween is a legendary film with a genre-defining legacy, and our mission has been to bring the film's unsettling sense of dread to our asymmetrical horror sandbox. By empowering players to control the tension and stage the scares, we're building a multiplayer experience designed with replayability at the forefront. We'll have more details to share regarding character progression, character traits, customization, proximity chat, and more thrilling gameplay features in the coming months. But we can't wait for all of you to join us when Halloween launches on September 8th, 2026.
That's 6 now. 6 survivors of Raccoon City, all dead from the same thing.
Resident Evil Requiem features 2 playable characters, Grace Ashcroft and Leon S. Kennedy, whose paths connect through separate segments involving investigation and combat. Gameplay includes switching between first and third-person views, with movement tied to searching locations, solving puzzles, and managing limited resources. Encounters involve firearms and careful positioning against infected enemies. Progress relies on combining exploration, item management, and environmental interaction, while uncovering details linked to incidents in Raccoon City.
Reason. Did you find anything on Opus?
Not yet. Nothing on the servers at the CIA or the Pentagon.
You are an ignorant fool.
Leon, we're running out of time.
Why me?
The team has settled on a person of interest. A former T-virus researcher.
Because my master made you who you are.
Raccoon City was where it all began for me.
I'm coming with you.
We can talk. What do you want to know?
I don't want any more regrets. Whatever it takes, count me in.
It's been a while since you've been back there.
Yeah.
Hunger takes place in plague-ravaged Napoleonic Europe, where players enter first-person PvPvE extraction runs to gather resources and survive against creatures and rival players. Combat combines firearms with melee weapons, requiring quick switching based on range and situation. Progression is tied to completing quests, surviving expeditions, and developing skills that shape playstyle. Crafting, professions, and a player-driven marketplace support long-term growth, while a central hub connects players with missions, trading, and preparation.
No. Death has judged us rightly. For we are but beasts, unworthy of salvation.
The Sinking City 2 takes place in a flooded version of Arkham, shown from a third-person view as players move through submerged streets and damaged buildings. Movement includes on-foot navigation and travel by boat across waterlogged areas. Combat uses firearms against hostile creatures, while survival systems involve managing inventory, limited resources, and returning to earlier locations as paths open. Optional puzzles and scattered clues support side investigations that unlock different outcomes and additional gameplay elements. Reanimal follows a brother and sister as they move across a hostile island to rescue missing friends, with gameplay built for single-player or co-op. Movement takes place on land and by boat, requiring coordination and timing to pass obstacles and avoid threats. Progress involves solving environmental puzzles, navigating confined spaces, and reacting to creatures that block paths. A shared camera frames both characters, making positioning and teamwork important for survival and progression. End of Abyss follows Cell, a technician navigating a damaged underground facility while investigating ongoing disturbances. Gameplay uses twin-stick shooting for combat against hostile creatures combined with movement through interconnected areas that open over time. Progress depends on upgrading equipment and gaining abilities that allow access to previously blocked paths. Exploration and combat are closely linked, with each new area introducing different threats and requiring careful use of tools and positioning to continue forward. Cthulhu the Cosmic Abyss places players in the role of Noah, an occult investigator sent to examine a silent mining station deep in the Pacific Ocean. Gameplay is presented in first person, combining movement through complex underwater structures with puzzle solving and clue gathering. An AI companion assists in tracking leads and analyzing findings. Progress depends on interpreting information, making decisions that alter outcomes, and managing the effects of psychological pressure caused by encounters with unknown entities.
Location report. We are monitoring you on the operation zone. Good luck. Over.
Beautiful Light assigns players to squads of 3 operators entering contested zones to locate and extract valuable artifacts. Gameplay uses a first-person view with an emphasis on positioning, awareness, and managing equipment during each raid. Players face both rival squads and controllable anomalies, requiring quick decisions and coordinated actions. Success relies on securing objectives, surviving encounters, and reaching extraction points, with earned resources used to expand abilities, gear options, and long-term character development. Ontos places players in the role of Aditi Amani inside the moon-based facility Samsara, where investigation is driven by searching environments and interacting with complex systems. Gameplay centers on solving experimental scenarios that combine puzzle solving with decision-making, often requiring careful use of machinery and gathered materials. Progress involves uncovering information tied to past research while navigating interconnected areas. Outcomes are influenced by choices made during these trials, with each decision affecting how situations develop and resolve.
He knew, and it inspired him to grant wishes.
Who's there? Nightmare. Yes!
That's why all of us are here. You want to understand, to know. Then you have to step beyond the walls surround you. Play your father's game. Push the very limits until even reality itself.
Phasmophobia continues to evolve toward its 1.0 version, with updates aimed at improving realism, including reworked character models, animations, and expanded ghost behavior. Gameplay centers on cooperative investigation, where players gather evidence using tools like spirit boxes and cameras to identify entities. Recent changes adjust how evidence is recorded and how maps function, while new events and content updates add variety. Future plans include offline play and continued additions after the full release. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake follows Mio searching for her twin sister in an abandoned village filled with hostile spirits. Gameplay centers on using the camera obscura to capture and repel enemies, requiring precise timing and positioning during encounters. Movement through the village involves investigating locations, uncovering past events, and accessing new areas. Additional mechanics include interacting with Mayu during certain moments, along with upgraded controls and features that expand both combat and environmental interaction.
Everyone died.
Are you leaving me again?
We can't escape after all.
No matter what happens, I'll forgive you, Mia. Together until the very end. Come on, Mia. Let's go.
Every secret you've hidden.
Crisol Theater of Idols follows Gabriel on the island of Tormentosa, where combat relies on using his own blood as ammunition, directly tying attacks to health management. Gameplay is in first person, combining shooting with resource control as each action reduces survivability. Movement through the island includes navigating ruins and streets while solving puzzles and uncovering hidden details. Progress depends on upgrading abilities, selecting weapons for different situations, and balancing offense with survival during encounters.